you.
The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty is recorded live with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, here's your host, Iredell County Sheriff Darren Campbell.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Well, welcome everybody to The Good, the Bad, and the Guilty, the best Wednesday of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
That's
only
right.
one best.
The
Yeah, exactly.
best Wednesday of the week.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Yeah. And, you know, I've heard a rumor, Matt, before we get to introducing our guest, and I got to read some of our sponsors. I heard that you and the dog took over the show last week. Or really, just
it wasn't me.
The dog took over the show.
It was the dog. It was the Rip show all the way. It was the good, the bad, and the cuddly.
And the Rip.
Yeah, the Rip. It was.
We're going to start on a Rip watch.
So, you know, that couch that they've been trying to talk about having us sit on. I know that the fine folks here at Purple Heart Homes use it for some of their guests. And we have too much gear on to be able to do the couch. The dog loved the couch. It just laid down, paws out.
The dog laid on the couch.
Yes, sir. No, it was downed on the couch. There's no laying in this. It was working. It was a working dog. Yep. So I think next time the dog was going to do like jump for the ball, jump for the treat. We just kind of eased him into show business. He didn't really do anything but just lay here and look, cute.
Well, sound like you've done a fine job.
Yes, sir. He did. Yep. He should get an extra bone in his paycheck this week.
You know the dog coming up. I'm bad about giving the dog treats.
That was discussed. Yes.
What did he say? I didn't.
He said that dog specifically, he can go off lead through the sheriff's office. He will. The office, and he will run up to your office, and he will put his nose right there. And
for the treats,
for the treats.
Else.
No, not what he's trained to smell at the schools and in the cars and in the community. But yeah, those treats.
Yeah, and, when I was dog handler, I always used to fuss at people about that. Now I sort of like having grandkids.
Well, Chris
I guess.
said that you're the only one that can give him treats. All the schools that he goes to, all the kids, all the teachers, all the community events, he won't let them do the treats. Like he'll accept them, and then eats them later. Well, but like not on, except for you, he's not going to tell you no.
That dog likes some treats. You're going to have to cut him back.
Yes.
By the time you do. Well, I only have about 4 or 5 that really comes and gets treats tossed, but you go through the treat boxes real quick.
Well, we talked about the 19 dogs that we had. I can't imagine them all in there. Next training day, I'm going to recommend that all the canines come up and just do a walk by and see which one turns in. And we'll know those are conditioned well.
I call them tattletales. Well, Matt,
yes.
I appreciate you being here,
yes, sir.
As always when you can. And today, and Patrick, you've been on the show before, Patrick Dixson, who is a sergeant over our Special Victims Unit, also our Fraud Division. Sure. You handle our sex offender compliance registration and the sex offender compliance investigators. Mm-hmm. Yes, so you do a lot. So today, we just sprung it on you about 5 minutes ago as a test. We'll let you give our show sponsor some words if you'd like to, and then we'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes. So, hello, it's Sergeant Patrick Dixon with the Special Victims Unit.
Okay, don't get all cheesy with it now.
Hello,
okay.
it's I. Yeah.
He's going to put us out of business. Last week, the dog, this week, Patrick.
Well, to really introduce myself, if anyone knows me, they know that I am a country feller. All right? So, this is sponsored by Harrison's.
It is.
From the job site to the rodeo to the backyard hammock, Harrison's has you covered. They are the Southeast's leader in Carhartt and Ariat workwear, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. They can get you ready to go boot scooting, which I'm very familiar with. From Western favorites like Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler, visit the Mooresville location or shop online at harrisonusa.com. Harrison's are home for work, Western, and wow.
And the sponsor of the show.
And they sponsor the show, so a lot of alliteration.
Do you have any
there at the end.
Wranglers?
No, I don't. I don't. I think the closest thing to like Wrangler I get would be like some good old fashioned American Eagle jeans or something.
I don't
like
think Wranglers make them that come skinny at the.
No, not skinny jeans.
Yeah. No, that's the other Patrick that wears the skinny
boot cut.
But now, even without Ash Pride, I know you've been down there shopping because everybody goes shopping. If you've never been to Harrison's, you got to go.
They are good on their prices. They do have the best selection of any of that stuff you can see. But if you like that stuff, better carry a checkbook, a credit card, a pocketbook full of money, whatever, because they got it all.
I'm saying you're not as expensive. Just there's so many good choices.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. You'll buy it all. Yep. And I didn't know that like Ariat makes the jeans and the boots and the jackets and the vest and all that.
Well, my son does because he tells me every time.
Mm-hmm. So and the hats and ladies. There's lots of lady boots. There's those shoes, the Hey Dudes, that are, I think Ariat makes the Hey Dude style shoes and some other ones. Tough boots. That's a little rubber shoe like fishermen can use on the boats. They're all out there. I think I mentioned the other day too. My wife likes those Boggs bags. You know the Boggs bags?
I do.
How come I'm the only one that knows about the bags? It's a big rubber bag, big
'Cause
square
none of
bag
us
that
would
goes on the
need it.
beach.
Oh, see,
The
I'm familiar
Bog.
with them Birkin bags that I can't afford.
Yeah,
but not the Bob's bags.
Well, these are rubber, and they're very affordable.
Oh, cool. That's much better.
Take your beach junk with you to the beach. Yes, absolutely. Well, so we thank Harrison's for all they do for us.
Yeah, and plus they're good supporters of law
And it's
enforcement.
Mother's Day, so go get your mama something from Harrison's.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find something for yourself.
I'm sure they got gift certificates too.
Here, honey, I got you a gift certificate. Father's Day is right around the corner.
That's what you'll get too.
Don't forget about me.
Just going to pass it back and forth.
I know. Yeah, sure, yeah. Well, you know, one of my sons suggested I get Stacy, since she can't get the leaf blower, she likes it. She wanted well, she didn't want it, not for Mother's Day, a battery powered leaf blower. I just figured that probably wouldn't be the best.
Well, you're a
choice.
big old boy. I mean, he could probably huff and puff and blow some leaves himself.
Yeah, he probably could.
I mean, you know, one of them big leaf blowers would be like a little toothpick in his hand. Y'all got to shop at the big tall
stores.
store.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks, Harrison, for sponsor. Also, if you listen to us, I forgot to say it, you can listen to us on Facebook. You can listen to us on X, Twitter, WSIC Web, the website, the app, and LinkedIn, which I did not know it. And don't forget, and we've not said it, but also the radio show, 100.7, and then 105.9 FM, and the old trusty standby, 1400 AM if you need to.
Man, does any radios do that AM stuff anymore?
Yeah, that's I listen to on them the races sometimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they had the baseball games and that kind of stuff on there too. So
The race. Left turn.
Patrick,
Another left turn.
it took us a whole quarter of our show to get through the introductions. But when we do come back, one thing we're going to talk a little bit, Matt, later on about the active shooter training we're doing tomorrow.
yes, sir.
But Patrick, one of the reasons we want to bring you on here today is because I know it's repetitive. We have not done this in a while, but we have a lot of people, and now that it's, really tax time is about done, but people's getting their returns and things like that. I know we've done a lot of things for different churches, and I got a call Sunday about we done at Harmony Methodist, or y'all did that, or Scanella, Detective. High praises from the pastor, Chris Lakey. He wants to advertise to other church, Brian Burgess and Beulah. We've done so many of them that it's a good word to hear a little bit about why, invite us in, and we'll teach, because scams and frauds and
Project Lifesaver. That's also under the Special Victims Unit. And I know you guys had an event coming up next week, Bethlehem Church. Yep.
Yeah, a fair
Really?
of sorts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it's going to be nice.
Well, that'll be good. You do a lot. You've been trying to get a raise here before said and done.
I just do the best I can for you, Sheriff.
Whatever.
Keep that up. Keep
Matt,
that
what's your
attitude up.
excuse?
I have 19 seconds to go, and that is not enough time to tell you all the great and wonderful things I do for you, sir.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to get into scams. We'll bring it back. Give us about 2.5 minutes. And there again, follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
The comments.
And I'm
we are
looking at
watching.
comments. Sissy Odalita, hey, good to see you.
Good to see you, Sissy. So we'll be back in about 2.5, 3 minutes.
right, welcome back, folks. We're live in studio here at the wonderful Purple Heart Homes. We thank them for using our place. We thank Harrison's for putting us on the air. We thank the sheriff, Darren Campbell, for being here. I'm Captain Matt. This is Sergeant Pat.
All right.
And we have got a show for you today, talking about fraud, scams, all those things that are out there that we can help you with here at the sheriff's office.
Or anything you want to talk about.
Anything you want to talk about. I've got Facebook up, and I've said hello to a few of our listeners, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. You can find us on Facebook Live. You can find me on there. That's all I've got. I don't have the X and the Twitter and their app and all that other stuff. But come check us out, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you got specifically. We've got an expert here on scams and fraud and some of the sex crimes and the many things that the Special Victims Unit and Economics Crime Unit also has.
So, Patrick, educate us. Why is this such a big issue? Well, hold on. Let's start with this. We know it's a big issue, but how many of these type of crimes that people say that it's never going to happen to me? We've said that it sounds too good to be true. It is. And they still get scammed.
Sure do. I mean, the mindset of it can't happen to you. It sure can, because it's happened to me. It's happened to my wife. It's happened to my family members. Pretty much everybody I can think of has had some sort of fraudulent transaction on a bank account. I'm sure we all kind of look through our accounts and just kind of make sure that everything's on the up and up. And well, lo and behold, there's a purchase at Adidas that wasn't me and it wasn't my wife. So of course, that's something where you get in touch with your bank. You get in touch with us as the sheriff's office, and we start looking into that for you and see what we can do.
And how does this happen?
Well, there's a lot of ways, quite frankly. So one of the most recent ways that we would think that a transaction like that would happen would be some sort of hack into maybe a medical facility, or if you really think about it, your information, Sheriff, is at a lot of places that you don't necessarily have control over, right? So you think about it as like a hospital, the bank. I mean, how many people give their phone numbers, get a discount at the local grocery store, right? These are all methods of information, or methods to get information from you. And if somebody can get access to your financial records, then they can sell that for profit on the dark web, as most would call it. And, you know, if I can get your information, I might sell that to Matt for $100 and rob you blind.
Yeah, and then Matt pays you. He makes $500 whatever till he gets caught. So
Exactly.
And I guess the biggest thing, how prevalent is it?
It's so high. It's such a prevalent number. We have 4 detectives that are just full-time economic crimes, and they each carry 20 to 30 active cases at any given time.
And, you know, not just the data hack. It's things like when you get the call. I mean, if another person calls me Dalton and wants to buy my property.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all get those, the calls?
Yes.
Or you've had a family member that owns some oil wells in Saudi Arabia or whatever. That's the email. That's the grandparent scam.
Of course.
But I guess the biggest thing is, obviously, we see. Well, I'll tell you what, we know people, won't say no names, but that's been scammed. But how many hundreds of thousands, some people have been for hundreds of $1,000s till somebody, and usually they get embarrassed. They don't want to tell nobody. But the people I mean, I've heard numbers of 6, 7, 800,000, and I don't know what you've heard.
Millions. I mean, we've been involved in cases where people have lost cumulatively over millions of dollars. And, you know, the hack of data is one thing, but there's other things that we, as the sheriff's office, trying to be proactive in giving presentations about how to avoid certain things. If you get a phone call asking for information, don't give any information over the phone. And we have hour-long presentations that we will go out pretty much at the request of anyone to do. And that's a big thing for us because it is so prevalent that if we can even stop 2 or 3, we might be saving somebody's retirement fund. You know, it's huge. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and most people's not even from. I mean, most of them originate from overseas, out of the country. So that creates a big issue for us.
It does. I tell people in our presentations that you allow us to do a lot, Sheriff, but I don't know if you'll send me over to Nigeria to knock on that guy's door.
I don't think you'd want to go.
I don't. Well, if I have to, Sheriff, I'll go to Nigeria.
I hear you.
But yeah, it would be preferable not to.
And that's what you were talking about, the Nigeria. There's lonely people out there, and they want to get on the phone and talk to somebody, and they talking to a friend, and you know they're in another country and they're stuck there and need some money to get out, or they're a college student, and it's so easy to catfish, isn't that the term? Where you just kind of make up some pictures, send some video. This is me. This, and next thing you know, these people are freely sending money overseas, knowing they're sending it to someone that they can't see, that they don't know. The problem is, you know, shame on you, but shame on me, and I do it again. And you know, so never feel embarrassed Never be shameful to be a victim. I mean, it happens, and that's what the sheriff's office is able to do to help you through that. I know you help them with their credit, right? The lock down their credit, find the credit reporting agencies, because specifically you have to be able to contact those people.
Absolutely. So you need to freeze your credit pretty much immediately if something like that were to happen to you. That way these people can't use your identity to apply for a new loan for a car, which will be bounced around between here, there, and everywhere and end up in India, right? So it's just so prevalent. And, I'm glad you brought up the point that people think, oh, I'm so stupid, I fell for this. I'm so this, I'm so that. Listen, the people that make these phone calls and these messages, they utilize fear to force you to do something quickly, and they try and put you on a time limit. Say like, no, we need you to do this now. We need you to do it within the next 20 minutes. Don't call anyone. Don't do this, because the last thing they want you to do is hang up. So they try and put our victims in fear. They try
to tell them, we're going to put them in jail. They use our names.
They're
jury
using their
scams,
name.
and we will never call, nor will the clerk of court or anybody call and say, hey, pay, especially with a go to Western Union, send us money, or a green dot card, which is basically nothing more than a preloaded card.
Bitcoin ATMs.
Oh,
if
yeah.
anyone
Bitcoin.
directs you to a Bitcoin ATM, hang up the phone immediately. There's no
Nobody
legitimate
accepts
purpose
that.
for someone to
And I
send
know
you there.
we got about 5 minutes left, but I want to bring something. Not about scam. We'll get back. But one thing is, they're not always older individual in class, because we have a lot of kids. And here's the problem that they get into is social media. They think they're texting to somebody of the opposite sex that they want to maybe send pictures of themselves, and then they find out that it's a scammer, and then he threatens to contact law enforcement because supposedly the girl or the boy was underage. Then they want $3,000, $4,000. And then finally they get as much as they can to send it to places, and then have to go to their parents. And by that time, and we know it's a scam. Hang up, because they'll usually try to threaten to send. I'm gonna send it to your own messenger. We're gonna put it to all your friends. I've got your account. So, so
That's you got a name for that, right?
We do.
Yep.
So that is called sextortion.
There you go.
Basically, a sex crime that's an extortion case. I believe that the state of North Carolina actually created that specific crime last year, and was effective July 1 or December 1. You know how that works with certain crimes, but that is exactly what that is, and that's exactly how it works. They'll start talking to somebody. They'll think that, oh, this girl's talking to me. She's interested, or he's interested, because it does go both ways. And you'll end up sending a photo of yourself that you shouldn't be sending, regardless of your age. And then that gets used against somebody. And I've had cases where that got strung along for months and thousands, and they were told to do some really egregious stuff on video, and sadly they did. And obviously, the worse something you send is, the more ammo that person has on you.
And parents are listening to this, and think of, usually parents, at least my age, y'all's age, our age, whichever, we're thinking of our parents being scammed, but also our kids can be, because a lot of them have access to phones. I mean, they're in school, they've got laptops, iPads. I mean, it is what it is, and that's what happens. And usually they're embarrassed. So I just think that's something that really need to
Video
educate.
game platforms, right?
You can get that as well. A lot of times kids will be on Xbox or PlayStation. They're playing games with people they've never met a day in their life. I mean, I'm a grown man. I've talked to people that I've never met a day in my life, and they know who I am. And, at any point in time, they could say, well, I want some money, or this, that, and the other, and this is what we have on you.
They wouldn't get me and Matt, because me and Matt's not on.
Yeah,
What'd you say, X, please?
I'm not been on any of those.
I mean, the Atari wasn't connected to the internet. So.
That is okay, Patrick. What would we say he was? A sergeant? Is he a sergeant? Was a sergeant?
I'm going to be demoted to something, but
Atari.
desk clerk.
Yeah.
But it's anytime you're talking to someone that you've never met face to face in your life and know for a fact. And I always tell people too, at some of these, my family growing up, we always had a password. So because we get these "I'm in jail" calls, right? So they get the call from a grandson or something to that effect, saying, "Oh, I'm in jail. I need $500 in Apple gift cards to get out." Well, if that were to happen to me, I would immediately ask my grandson. And I put that in air quotes for the people listening. Well, what's the code word? And if that scammer doesn't know our code word, then you are not who you claim to be. You are not my grandkid. So I would implement that in my families, make sure it's not something shared around.
Well, it's just like my parents told me that, hey, if anybody comes to get you at school, might be a kidnapper, but here's the secret word.
Exactly.
Of course, they told everybody, but it is what it is.
Right.
But yeah, those secret words have been around for a long time. They're still very beneficial, and they work well.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. You can always have that.
Matt, what's your secret word?
Well, I was going to tell you. Okay, because I'm worried about kidnappers right now.
Write this down,
Anybody
folks.
could get me. Exactly.
I ain't got my pen over here.
Well, I've heard before. Hey, Mom, what's for dinner tonight? Are you making lasagna? and like I don't like lasagna. So when I do like lasagna. It's vegetables I don't like.
Yeah,
so
we had that discussion. Yeah.
Any vegetables in the dinner tonight, and that would let her know that I'm in trouble, or I need help or something like that. And there's so many opportunities, like I was talking about with the connections. People are looking for this loneliness, even the young kids are. And I didn't realize that in the games like that, you can pay them, and they can pay you back and forth in your whatever the coins are that's good for the game, the Roblox, or all the different things like that. So
And sex offenders use the platform.
that's what I was going to say. Has that not happened? Where
course.
a grown man gets online and says, "Hey, little kid, I'll give you so many coins in the game if you'll show me a picture in private."
Yep.
And they don't think
And
anything
then once you
about it.
disseminate it, really, once you take it, it is, if it's uploading
Right.
all that stuff, it's so much stuff that it's out there.
It
But
is.
these horrible people are sending it out there to everyone else, everywhere else, and they're profiting from it.
Absolutely.
So, and the victim's right here. So again, talk to your kids. If they've been a victim, same thing. You're not bad parents. You're, disclose. Let us know. Let us help you to fix that, change
And
that.
before we take our break, we do a program we've not
Yes.
done one in a while, the 15 most dangerous apps.
Exactly right.
And we should really concentrate that more. Parents have to hear, because I don't know how many kids are listening to our show today. But we can come in and do a class of 20 to 30, maybe even up to 40, the 15 most
Yep.
dangerous apps, because a lot of this stuff they don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it to
be
you.
back in about 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
Give or take a little bit, and let you bring us back in
Talk more
shortly.
about those classes.
Stick around. Welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and Guilty. All right, Patrick, we've talked a lot, so I'm going to throw it directly to you. No, I don't mean like that. I'm talking about what things right now, if you're going to protect yourself, what's the most prominent thing you're seeing as far as scams and what we're telling people to avoid? I know it's tax return time coming back, so do we still see a lot of that, or just whatever you have?
I will say in terms of the tax return stuff, we're not seeing as much of that as we have in previous years. And there's not a whole lot you can do to prevent that, right? I will say what we're seeing a lot of, and it's almost comical how much we'll all get at the same time, but the "you owe a toll" text.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in this room has gotten the "you owe a toll," despite the fact that you've never left Iredell
I
County.
got fussed out a bunch of times. I had to eat crow for.
She thought you was stolen.
I thought she was.
We'll literally be in the special victims unit, and I'll get a message. I'm like, I got one, and within 10 minutes, everybody else is getting the "you owe a toll." They're not going to send you a text message with a link to pay your toll.
No.
That's just not going to happen. If you click that, they're going to try and get some information from you, and that's kind of where we reach that slippery slope of now you're providing someone that does not need your information with your information, and that could open you up to other issues down the line. But
Have you clicked on the link as an investigator to see what it does?
Sure haven't, because I am somewhat tech savvy, and I know what clicking the link in and of itself could lead to. So I am not clicking that link. I would recommend that everyone don't even open the message. Just go ahead and delete it and report it as junk.
And, now when you get calls, not just that, now you're getting phone calls, tax relief. You've been pre-approved for tax relief, and it sounds like a person, but it's really not.
It's a message. I got one of those yesterday. Yeah, this is the Tax Relief Refund Center. We missed your call. I don't remember calling you. Well, that's why we're calling you, and they're offering you something, so we want that call back.
I've gotten a lot recently about Medicaid. And how they're trying to reach out, and I qualify for Medicaid, but for some reason, whenever I start talking, they hang up on me. So maybe I just don't sound like I really want the Medicaid. Maybe I need to work on my acting chops.
Is that you in the office that's actually strung them along for a while, or was that Lieutenant Eichert?
So not to out ourselves in front of our boss, but
we need to do a recording one time of messing with one of those.
The biggest thing that you can do, and I say you as law enforcement, I do not suggest to do this, but we try and waste their time because time is money to them. Right. So we kind of have like an ongoing, how long can you string them along? I think my lieutenant, Daniel Eichert, kept one on the phone for about an hour and a couple minutes. And that's the record.
Right.
The most I ever got was like 20 minutes. But I wasted 20 minutes of that person's time. You know how many phone calls I just saved? Quite frankly, that's the best work I could do for you, Sheriff Campbell, is waste their time.
That's good.
Oh, my goodness. You've thought about that.
Productive
You've
use of your time.
I practice it in front of the mirror.
Let's get you a few more extra lines into your office so that when you're not doing on reports, you're answering multiple lines. Hold, please. Hold, please.
Fraudsters.
Okay, moving right along. Time's money. We got sponsors.
Time is money.
Exactly.
Time is money.
So, Matt, Patrick, stick around with us, and we'll still, listen, send us a Facebook message, email us if you want to do it for your church or your group, kids. Let us know. We'll do everything we can. Matt, I know you got some press releases.
Yep.
And we may bounce back. I want to make sure we don't miss our press release, and I want to make sure we don't miss your active shooter training that's coming up.
Very important.
And then we may touch a little bit on the RAD train that Patrick's also an instructor.
Yep,
and,
that's coming up as well.
And then Law Enforcement Appreciation
That's
Memorial Week
coming
is
up
next week.
Next week, absolutely.
Means I'll be cooking ham for Sunday night.
All right, so you give me all those things. So let me back up. So first and foremost, tomorrow night, you don't want to miss it. Free class at the Ag Center, 444 Bristol Road. The threat assessment investigators that the sheriff has added on for the need that we saw years ago in these school threats, business threats, the active shooter, church shield, all of those opportunities for these threats of mass violence. And I won't say there's a lot of instances, but there's a lot of talk and there's a lot of intelligence out there. So having two dedicated threat assessment investigators to continue on doing that stuff, work with the school officials, that's great. But we want to bring it to the community.
Well, tell us why. It's surviving.
Exactly right. So tomorrow night, it's called Civilian Response to Active Shooter Incidents. So if you're at church or if you're at the mall or the restaurant, what happens when you hear that sound go off? That gunshot. Is it a gunshot? What happens next? How can I protect myself, my family? We're not doing self-defense stuff, but we're going to show some of our tactics, our ideas, some of the best practices that go on throughout the country.
These practices survive. We actually get the information from people that have survived active shooters.
Absolutely.
How do they stay safe? What do they do?
Every active shooter event that comes out, from school shootings to church shootings to even the what do you call them? The active killing events with cars now. We've seen some of those where cars go into crowded areas. Our threat assessment investigators get those bulletins and get that intelligence, and they're going to be available to talk about that stuff. But we do have a presentation. We'd love to go through that with you. In that, it talks about a lot of the little things that you can do, but it's open. If you've got a question, if you don't want to put it on here, you want to come see us at the meeting tomorrow night. It's free, 6 o'clock. We should wrap up around 8 or so.
You cooking supper?
Well, what'd you say you was planning on? I mean, this is
Everybody gets a bowberry biscuit.
potluck.
Just one.
Potluck. Is that when you bring your own? So,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you get thirsty when you talk a lot. So I have plenty of water there. I have water available.
Well, I know the class. We sort of did. If you want to come, let us know. We'll make room. But
Right.
the first couple class we had was up in the 200s and
Yep.
stuff. When we did
Yep.
on a Saturday, it's a little longer. So this is a condensed version. In an evening, we're not going
Yep.
too long. We're going to pretty much try to have the cutoff
Right.
when you say, and the times are.
6 to 8:30.
And it sounds like a long time, but it's
Right.
going to go by fast.
Right. And there's always those questions at the end that we encourage people to, if you got a question and you want to get it out right away, but you know how it is in the middle school classes, hey, it kind of bogs us down. So let us deliver our presentation, then we'll have a half hour or so at the end for all those questions, and stick around and learn that, and then have an opportunity to talk with the detectives one-on-one personally, just like your guys do, the Special Victims Unit. Some people might not want to say they've been scammed out loud, but they want to talk about it. So there could be fears. I mean,
And there's also going to be involvement. I mean, a lot of people want to say, hey, can I carry my gun here? Or can I carry my gun
Right.
there? There's going to be talking about probably the chance or the constitutional carry law may pass.
Right.
But right now, the concealed handgun permit,
Right.
when you can go into
where you can carry that out. Mhm.
yeah,
Yep.
a school, or
Yep.
if you're having church in a school on a Sunday,
Right.
there's going to be a lot of things that protects you from civil liability that you need to understand.
Physical aggression indicators, like that look he's giving me right now. No, that's
I'm
that's a nice.
concentrating. I'm listening
exactly
to you.
Back up now. Back up. Watch out.
Yeah.
De-escalation tactics.
Had a Judy chop.
Words. Sorry. The words that you can use and attitudes that you can use to create some distance. We talk about run, fight, hide, avoid, deny, defend. Same thing, same keywords. But what does that mean? What's going through your mind when that's happening?
It's like the church shield stuff. When we talk about that, we'll actually, as the greeters or the ushers and the ones that see that, we basically, which we probably shouldn't say this on there, but basically teach how to search somebody without them ever knowing it.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it works well. So it's a lot of cool stuff.
Yep.
We'll get to it. So what else you got? And you only got a minute and 30 seconds in this
we
section.
still got another segment to go.
I
Next,
said in this one.
So take it in chronological order again, right? So next week, you said, is the National Police Week, National Law
Yes.
Enforcement Appreciation Week. And, we appreciate you for all that you've done for us. And this is an opportunity for, it's always great. We get people bring food in, bring treats in. They send us stuff. So next week will be filled with meals. Your wife does a great job with breakfast. There's pintos that I don't eat, but thank you for making those.
Do you think they still like pintos? I said, well, you went through like 12 crock pots of it. So
they pile in there.
we save up ham all year, do ham biscuits and breakfast, and the kids love it.
But if anybody wants to drop something by the sheriff's office, anybody wants to call us.
Let's call us first. Send us an email, and you can send it to Sheriff's Office Facebook message. So if you got, a lot of businesses do it. And the fact is, we try to provide for the office sort of a breakfast, a light lunch, and maybe a supper for the night, because we're 3 shifts.
Right, exactly.
So if you are
or snacks to put in the cars, and little drinks. Like we had somebody bring office supplies. How many officers need pens and
I
papers
tell you what,
and stuff?
I appreciate the most is those cards from kids.
Yeah,
Those are my
and the
favorite.
kids. But anything that you want to do, like I said, if you want to sponsor a meal, or we'll put a thing up who it's from. Churches have a lot of churches that help. They'll just prefer, hey, some of the ladies will a meal for lunch or dinner, just even nothing.
I think South River's bringing the chicken cooking truck down there, and
and we don't have a problem eating that. South River, Beulah does something. Harmony,
some of the
Friendship.
coffee
There's a lot of
companies
churches.
and those, so we really appreciate that. So yeah, if you want to donate anything to us, give us a call, give us an opportunity.
3, 2, 1.
We appreciate that.
We'll be back in about 2 minutes. I was trying to say something.
That's Bill's music. Yeah, that's Bill's music. You would appreciate that. You're kind of a eclectic fellow that likes your Hitchcock. Yeah,
Occasionally.
Yes, of course.
We're talking
No,
about
you're
that.
a country fella.
I'm a country feller.
Yes.
Okay, country,
Yeah.
and you're talking about that, and then we're just talking about Eminem's new songs.
That was you, sir. You were rapping it back. You were.
I didn't rap nothing.
Yeah,
Did I, Patrick?
I heard
Rapping a
it.
Mother's
I
Day
did
gift.
hear it. You were spitting hot fire, I think, as the kids would say.
What?
I'm glad it was on break.
I think we can go back and get some of that live recording. Speaking of live recording, welcome back. We're live here in studio. We're still live on Facebook. Thank you, Holly. Detective Eldridge over there. She says that Harrison's an awesome, that they do a really good job taking care of us with our uniforms and our other needs and our boots and stuff. Yeah. So the public, you could, from the hammock to the tactical side.
There was a bunch of stuff there.
They had a lot of pocket knives, too, because I know you're a pocket knife person.
Yes, I am. They're in the front counter, so I have to stand there a long time looking at all of
Is
them.
those the two that you just showed me the other day? I know that's the reason I'm doing it, since you.
We don't know who's
does your wife
listening.
listen to this program?
Oh no!
Those were cheap and on sale. That's all I'll have to say to that.
Did you just encounter a fraud call here? Were those purchased with your
that's just
knowledge?
If my face red, I need some makeup. He just called me out. Speaking of crimes that are in progress and could happen, you're in so much trouble, sir. Rapid SOS 911 live video. So this is a new thing that the sheriff's office has partnered with the Iredell County Emergency Communications.
And they've done. Listen, they've done all the work.
Okay.
Iredell County Communication, Candy, and all of them has done the work over there.
So I'm not familiar with it as well. I know that you were talking about it during the break. I think you're familiar with it as well. If you see a crime occurring, or if you have information that you can use a video for.
If you call 911, the way I understand, I wish we'd have had time to schedule. We may bring her on later, but the way it is, they can drop you a link to your phone. You can click on, and it'll hook up real time with communications, and they can blur it so they're not seeing nothing graphic, but they're able to actually get real time information as it happened, relayed to responding fire departments, can be police, sheriffs, anybody. So it's kind of cool technology to see it working.
Right.
It's not something you'll have to. I mean, you send the link. It's up to you if you click on it, but you may feel threatened. You may be in the house. You just want to dial it and set it just in the corner. You may hear something suspicious, and you're checking the doors. But either way, that's
like when I do a lot of the little stranger danger things. Our school resource officers talk to little kids, and they'll talk about, calling 911. It's not a game. It's not for fun. We're going to come out there. We'll trace where you are and come back. But if you can't talk, you can call 911 and leave the phone off the hook. Like, they don't know what a hook is, but leave it on. and you don't, so that our communications can hear what's happening. So this is a way that video can be fed in and they can see what's happening. So that's a great point. You can put that out. And this is, if you see something going on, we all the time tell them, see something, say something, go to our app, get that information there, report it. Obviously, 911, we have devices that have video capabilities.
And you think about this: if somebody's say a wreck on the interstate, and it's not law enforcement, they can actually dial 911, connect, and you could actually zoom in using your camera, turn your camera around. You could look at the placard numbers on the truck. You could see.
Wow.
There's just the ability of what it could possibly do is, who knows how much it'll help.
An opportunity to be that witness, but not be a witness. I guess a silent witness, as you say. That's a great opportunity to do that. So it's good that we've got this technology out there. That's awesome. We'll have to see how that works.
What if you had an active shooter in the church and you could just prop the phone, leave the phone?
At the schools, like at a school, if you've got students that understand this, as the incidents progressing and going through,
absolutely,
just like we do the school cameras with the school system, this would be a way that the communications could see that. So, also, if there's wanted persons. If the sheriff's office is looking for anyone, just like we were able to locate and apprehend and take into custody the Joshua Andrew Moore, 37 years old, that was wanted the other day for the home breaking and entering. He had been stabbed breaking into this home, had sought medical care, had eluded us being able to contact them. But I know that yesterday he was apprehended with the drone. The K9 was available. We had the warrant squad. Yeah.
Narcotics. Here's a person.
Yep. So it's one of those things when somebody's out there in this capacity, so to speak, we ask the public for the help. We put out a wanted sign. You've always said we'll make them famous on Facebook if we need to.
Well, the post over the day, a lot of people's questioned the part about listen, he left the hospital prior to, and there's a lot, we have to conduct the investigation. There's a lot of stuff. You can't just go sit with everybody. So there's a lot of stuff that the investigation has to be proven first. So
Right. Yep.
Before we do some things.
But I mean, this would be a situation. I mean, obviously, you would never want to put a camera to someone that could be armed and dangerous or is a fugitive or on the run. But if you know where he's at, you could give us video. This is where he's at, and he was in a trailer, and we were able to find him and really, use the input that we got from investigations in the community and be able to kind of coordinate a way to take him in tactically that he was not a danger to anyone else. So we're glad to get him in. That's felony first-degree burglary, felony larceny after breaking and entering, felony aid and abet breaking and entering, misdemeanor assault on a female, misdemeanor simple assault. That was for breaking in. Check it out on Facebook. You can see the pictures. Joshua Andrew Moore has no bond. And Jasmine Marie Webb was also a young lady that was there in his presence when this happened. She also faced those same charges, and she is under no bond. Apprehended her at the same time as that incident was unfolding. So good job to everyone involved.
Everybody helped him work the case.
Yep, multi-unit response. So good job. Yep. So anything, final thoughts, Patrick, before we go out of here? What last thing the sheriff has talked about was the RAD classes. What is that real quick? We only got a couple minutes, and when's the next one?
Yeah, so the next RAD class, which stands for Rape Aggression Defense, that is on June 7th that weekend, Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday, you get to beat me and my friends up.
That's optional.
Which is optional, but usually it's everyone's favorite part.
Yeah.
So that'll be on the weekend of June 7th. We will provide those classes when requested. Anytime that there's a group of people, or ladies, that would like to be involved in that, by all means, reach out to Captain Matt here, and he can get in touch with me and all the other instructors, and we can schedule a good time for y'all. On top of the RAD stuff, we are proactive in the fraud presentation realm that we've already discussed. If there's a group of people that, kind of want to learn how to prevent some things happening to them on a fraud side, or if they just want information on that, we come out and we do presentations, as the sheriff mentioned, at church groups and stuff like that. Usually it's a fun time. I mean, we're very interactive. We'll answer questions. I'll crack a couple of terrible jokes.
You're talking about doing these programs. Somebody asked me the other day, our staffing ratio, in this coming budget, we're going to be down to 1 deputy per 1,000 citizens, which is historically the lowest.
That's the lowest. You
compare to police departments, even locally, some of them's 5.9, some of them's 2.3. But either way, our crime rate's going down. And the only way that I can explain it is we're really doing more with less. But it's also these type of educating the community, because if we can educate them, then that's less crimes. We don't have the fraud if they understand what's happening. So then you'd much rather be proactive than reactive. I'd rather prevent it than ever investigate it.
Right.
And quite frankly, even the courses or presentations that we do offer, pretty set. But if there's something that people are interested in, hey, I want to learn about canines, or hey, I want to learn about some narcotic stuff, or whatever they might feel fit, you can always get in touch with Captain Matt, and we can cater something. We can create something if it doesn't exist already. We're very adaptable in what we'd like to tell.
There was a civic group or a group that asked about a terrorism, and it may be on your calendar, but they asked for a terrorism program. And,
See, I got some good stuff from our National Association, PowerPoint.
And that's what I'm saying. Nobody thinks about that kind of stuff, but when it pops in your head, you're responsible for educating your civic group, your community group, your community watch, church group, whatever it is. If it's an idea you've got, ask us, because we're putting that together. I know Detective Rowe is working on that with the threat assessment investigator, being able to put something that together. So I'm sure he can.
I guess we should go ahead while we're doing it. We've got a new threat. Heather Little's with us, and she's still going to be part-time, but she's going to stay at home with the baby a little bit, I think, and work. Sort of took a stay-at-home type thing, but still very involved with us. But
Detective Justin Carroll,
about 10 or 11 years with us, has worked CID, patrol, our narcotics investigator, is on our tactical team, so he will bring a lot to gain, working with school system. I got to say, Jeff James and the board has been unbelievable to work with for school safety. A lot of people don't understand the capability we have in these schools, but there again, we've done it through these classes, SROs training, SROs teaching classes. I mean,
Was it great?
Wrestling coaches and everything. Well, great. Yeah.
Outdoor classes, outdoor coaches and stuff like that. So the SROs are really involved. Speaking of sports, volleyball, this Saturday at over to Statesville High School. This will be our final league game, I guess you'd say. The tournament will be next Saturday. So we want to make sure that you come out for that. I'm looking real quick. Let's see who is coming to eat. Food trucks are Land Cruisers Coffee and Homestead Hot Dogs will be out there.
Yeah, there's some good food because I don't know who had. And I should remember the name, but I don't know where them grits come from.
Oh my gosh, Paige's Plate.
Okay, if she's listening, she owes us. I think I ate like.
With the liver mush on top and the egg and the gravy.
I'm watching my figure. I did not get.
Oh, you gotta get
I
the
didn't
whole
get nothing
thing.
but grits.
They were molten
Watching
hot.
your figure expand.
Oh,
With them
no,
grits
no,
is what you're doing.
I'm doing
Hey.
better than Matt. He had to use 2
Hey,
bowls.
round is a shape. That's a figure.
It sure
Yep.
is.
But no, I've got to say the food. I've heard nothing, and it's cool to see these girls building relationships from Mooresville to North Iredell. We don't use a travel team, can't play together, so it's been good. How many girls we had this year and boys?
There were, so total staff with the coaches, with everyone, it was a little over 400. So I think that's 350 some players with about 40 coaches. I know there were 16 teams and 16 teams, so that's 32 teams. It's a lot, a lot
There's
to
a
put
lot
together.
of networking, and there again,
Yep.
it goes right back to teaching them the dangers of sextortion, things like that. Fraud. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just that's the way to stay ahead of crime is to educate.
And it's
I've
all
said that.
free.
It's all
Doesn't
free.
cost these kids a dime. Doesn't cost you to come out and watch and look. I mean, the food trucks cost you, but that's between you and them. But the drug dealers take real good care of us.
Well,
So-
not just that, and we do have the board that helps us, but we constantly have to have the support of the community to demand these type of services to keep crime rates low. Tell our funding mechanisms, hey, we appreciate the job we're doing, and
Yep.
it helps us. It does
Yep.
help us, and so Patrick, thanks for coming, Matt.
Watching this show help us tell everybody
and share
about it.
You can share it and
Yep.
go back and watch it, whichever. But we will
Yep.
see you next Wednesday.